Hi everyone, this is Pramita here. Today, as you can see, I have a bunch of stamps laid out and I'm going to do a quick stamping tutorial. Now, I don't know if it's going to fit in one session or not, but I'll try to do it quickly, but I really want to show how you can maximize the usage of your stamps. So it might take a two-part video. It might be a two-part video, but of course, let's start off with a few things that I have learned along the way. Now, I know there are tons of videos like this, maybe on YouTube, and I am not the first one who's doing this, but I have a few handicaps regarding stamping. Firstly, I am not the world's greatest stamper, and I always tend to mess up on the pages when I do stamping. So, I don't buy a lot of stamps. I try to keep them at a minimum level, and so what I try to do is I check out some stamps which I can use as an ephemera, which I can use, to make some ephemera and some the word phrases, etc. And that's what I'm going to show you at the first tutorial, and I'm just going to show you how I have done some of them. You can use your pattern papers, your sticker paper or whatever, or even white cardstock. I generally use scraps of paper like so. I'm just going to show you. Okay, so this is a stamp set from Coco Daisy. I have just stamped these words out on this paper. This is a 6x6 scrap of paper. And once again, this is a ticket stamp that I have from Heidi Swap. And this is also from Heidi Swap. So I have these scraps, and what I did was I stamped out a bunch of words. I'm going to show you. Yeah. So these are mostly from Coco Daisy. I have all kinds of papers which I'm using, and you can also stamp out the word phrases on your cardstock, pattern paper, whatever you have. You can even stamp them on sticker paper, and then you can color them up if you want to, or if you want to distress them, you can do that also. You can use other watercolors, but I would try to refrain from stamping. After stamping, I would refrain from using watercolors unless and until you're using a waterproof ink, first of all. And secondly, I have found that the sticker papers are not very forgiving to watercolors, so they might lose their adhesive, I don't know, because the water might seep through the page onto the backing. So that depends on the quality of the paper basically. So I don't like to watercolor on sticker paper, and you can always use your pencil colors. So I'm going to show you how I do it. So these are some of the phrase stamps I have. I'm going to show you. These were on clearance from some craft shop. These are actually from Technique Tuesday. These are Ali Edwards phrase stamps, and as you can see, they are very useful. This is from the Happy line. I don't know, she had some stuff, and this is once again, these are some word phrases. These are, I think, from the Ali Edwards, some, I don't know. Yeah, so these are from Ali Edwards. If you want, I can show you this. These are Technique Tuesday stamps. I don't know if they are still made. I got them at clearance. I usually check out the clearance first because I try to save as much as possible. So I'm just taking out this stamp, this acrylic stamp. Remember one thing, I am not the world's greatest stamper, so I might mess up along the way. Please bear with me. Yeah, so I'm just going to ink this up. Please don't mind the shaking. So I'm just going to ink this up and stamp it. This, I'm using the Memento ink. This is the ink that I'm using, Tuxedo Black. I also have the Stays On ink, but my Stays On needs to be re-inked. So I'm just placing it on the paper and I am pressing it down. Just look how clean and neat it looks. This is a sticker paper, so this is a sticker itself. You can make it into a sticker. If you want, you can cut them into squares and keep them in your stack and then use them as you like. Okay, so I'm going to show you one more and let's see what we can do. Okay, do the next thing. Maybe I can do that. Okay, what's stopping you? Let me do this. So these are pretty quirky. Now how I stamp is I put another one on the back and I just ink them up. Once again, I'm not the greatest stamper in the world, so I might mess up. Please bear with me. I just want this phrase. I don't, because later on you're going to cut this out and use it. What's stopping you? See how beautiful it looks, and now you can cut this out or you can color it with color pencils, distress stains, whatever you want, and use them as stickers in your journals, in your planners, in your whatever you want. So the sky is the limit. So that's how I use most of my phrase stamps. I don't like to use them directly on the pages because sometimes the images, they don't come out too well. So that's one of the ideas how you can use your phrase stamps, and I'll also show you how you can make these phrase stamps on your post-it notes. Now these are post-it notes. These are just the shop or nothing fancy, they just have a floral over here. So I'm just going to show you how I am going to use the phrase stamps to stamp on these. So for that you have to measure out basically how big your stamp set is. Like love this giggle, it's going to fit in this. This is fantastic, it's going to fit, make me laugh. Totally happy, this too will fit. So quite a few of them might fit over here. So let me see. So I'm going to check out the cute one. So I'm going to place it here. Once again, I'm going to ink it up. Okay, and I'm going to stamp it on the post-it itself. So that's that. Once again, I'm not the world's greatest stamper. See how beautiful it looks, and you can just take it off when you want to use and use them as you go. So you can just stamp them in a bunch, and keep it in your stash. You can stamp again, like I am going to show you how. I'm going to ink this up. See how I messed up? So yeah, I am a messy stamper. So basically that's what I do. See, now you can use this as your post-its. You can keep them in your stash and use them as you go. This is also one of the few things I often do when I have time. When I'm watching TV, I just stamp them in a bunch. I keep them in my stash because I don't like to spread out all my stuff when I'm doing journaling or planning. So I keep them handy and I just use them as I go. So I like to keep things ready, so that I can just put them together and get the task over with. So that's one of the things that I had done. Another thing I'm going to show, I'm sorry about the shaking, I just bumped against the camera. Another thing I will show is how I stamped on the cardstock or the pattern papers that we have. Now this is a scrap of pattern paper. It's actually 6x6. So I am going to show you how I stamp on that. So I have a stamp set over here. I just received this from Coco Daisy. I think this was in a scrapbooking clearance set. So I have this word, domestic goddess. I like this word because every day we women have to be the domestic goddess. Yeah. So I'm going to ink this up. Stamp sets of Coco Daisy are of awesome quality, and I really love how ingenuous they are. You know, you can put them to use so many times. So this is, just look how beautiful it is. You can punch it out, you can cut it, punch it into a circle, or you can just, you know, cut it into a square, in a rectangle, whatever suits you, and then you can use it in your planner or in your journals. So that's one of the tips that you can use. So you can stamp these phrases on sticker paper, you can stamp them on pattern papers as well as on the post-it notes, and then you can stamp them on the notepads. Okay, so I'm going to show you how you can do it on the notepads also. Just let me grab this. Okay, so this is a notepad that I have. This is from Coco Daisy. So it already has this phrase, always face the sun. So I want to use this phrase, domestic goddess. So I am going to use this. So that's that. I am going to place it over here so that I can see how beautiful it looks. So you can always cut this out. You can add it as a, you know, journaling card. You can stick a cardstock paper behind and make it into a journaling card. I have done that and it works out perfectly well, and I think this will be for my stamping phrases tutorial, and I'll be back with part 2 of stamping tutorial. That will be how to make your own alphabet stickers. So bye for now. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you want to see more of these kind of videos, please subscribe to my channel. Bye.